My lovers, welcome to my channel. My name is Made for Love, and today we're going to be channeling a message from um, a river spirit called Nandi. Now, some of you may know that I've been spending a lot of time at the river. Listen, like I've been there like 4 times for the week already, right? Sometimes I'm just not able to do anything else for the day but go to the river. So anyway, since I've been going to the river often, coming through quite plainly has been this water spirit. And because right after the river, usually I do a little meditation and then I just fall, knock right out, fall asleep. And during my meditations, this water spirit called Nandi has been coming through. Now, my first contact with water spirits was about 3 years ago. Because I told you I did not grow up spiritual. I grew up in the Catholic Church. And whatever I knew about spirituality was what we practiced through our culture. So, for example, in my culture, if you open a bottle of alcohol, everybody, whether you are Indian, Black, Arabic, Chinese, whatever it is, everybody is going to throw some of that and say for the spirit. They'll throw some on the ground and say for the spirits. Whether they're atheists, it doesn't matter. Everybody does that in our culture, right? And everybody just about everybody uses rum or something like that to bake. So it doesn't matter when you open the bottle, whether you're going to drink it, you're going to bake it or whatever. Everybody's going to do that, right? Most people, if they come home late in the night, they might walk backwards into their house, right? So that no spirit is going to follow you home. So everybody would do that, whether, as I said, no matter your color, your race, your ethnic origin, whatever it is, everybody does that. That is all part of our national identity. And people don't even recognize it as a spiritual practice. They just say it's part of our culture, right? And then my father, well, he had his own culture. He was from Dominica, and part of his heritage are the first peoples of Dominica, right? So the Kalingos. So he had his spirituality coming from that, and then he was in London when transcendental meditation, that's what they called it at the time, had just come out, and it was all the rage. So he was part of that kind of thing. So whatever I knew about spirituality was from that. So anyway, my first contact with water spirits, and I'll keep it short. We have a pitch lake in Trinidad and Tobago, and I think it's the largest pitch lake in the world, if not the only pitch lake in the world. And you can look it up. It's one of the wonders of the world. And during the dry season, parts of the pitch lake form into little pools. It's like sulfur pools that you can go there and you bathe, and we believe that has a lot of healing properties. Now, I cannot attest to the healing properties, but in terms of healing illness, but what I can tell you is that when I went there, the guy we took, he loves the lake. You know, when people are passionate about their job. And he was talking about the healing properties of it, and he said, I can demonstrate to you. Do you have a cut on your foot right now? I didn't have a cut, but I had a cut that was kind of healed, and it's kind of still kind of black, right? And he just took some of like a little bit of the scum from the edge of the pool, and he like rubbed it on my leg. And I'm telling you guys, within 24 hours, that black stuff, that scar was gone. It was gone. Okay. So I would not be surprised if people say they got healed there, because I experienced that for myself. After that excursion to the pitch lake, I was doing my meditation in the night, and very clearly came through what she called herself the Lady of the Lake. And she told me to go, and this is what I saw, to buy this mala. Listen, I didn't know anything about malas, okay? I told you I grew up in the Catholic Church. To buy this mala, and I've had it ever since. So today I'm connecting to Nandi, and right, she's here already, and we're gonna see what message she has for the collective. All right, so first of all, we're gonna look at what Nandi wants to talk about, okay? Just a broad topic, and then we're gonna deconstruct it as usual. Just break it down. What does Nandi want to talk about? And we have spirit symbol. Now, every time I see spirit symbol, that tells us about the path forward, destiny. It's a card number 7, which is a chariot. So again, path forward, right? So there's something here about your destiny, purpose, path forward. Let's see what's going on. So maybe something that's meant to happen in the future if we're being linear, right? All right, so we have freedom. Now, it is a card number 23. Getting two things when it's 23. First of all, 23 reduced to 5, and 5 is the Hierophant. It is our spiritual lessons, but it is also connected to our family. 23, so really it is really one message wrapped in one. 23 is 23, the chromosomes, DNA, right? We're talking about DNA. Again, connected to your lineage and family. So I'm getting two messages. One, there were some karmic lessons that you were meant to learn, not just for yourself, but also for your family line, in order to free your family line from those patterns. For some of them, these patterns became so dense, they were curses. Okay, so it looks like whatever work you've been doing around breaking family curses, changing patterns, and being a pioneer, Spirit is saying, Nandi is saying, you've done it. You've done it. You have broken some sort of cycle that was in your lineage. And that was the path that you came here to follow. This is what you were meant to do. So this is about success. This is a message from your ancestors saying that they are proud of the work that you have done and that you will continue to do. That's the message I'm getting with that. I'm also getting, because we see the DNA here, you have changed some sort of markers on your DNA permanently that will now be passed on to the generation that will follow and will heal the generation that came before. That's what I'm getting. All right, so let's see. Let's break this down, see if there any other message. And then we're going to see exactly what those patterns were. Interesting. Alrighty. So we have the Seven of Cups in reverse, and the Seven of Cups in reverse is about clarity. Ooh. And it falls right out. It is about clarity, and then we have the Knight of Swords, more clarity, and it's like swift messages, swift truths coming through. Truths coming through hard and fast. Spirit, tell us about this Freedom card. Ooh. What is this? All right, we have the Ace of Wands, and this is about new beginnings, especially new spiritual beginnings. So what I'm getting is that you have unlocked a new code, a new beginning for your ancestry, an ancestry that is more abundant, more grounded. Now, the King of Pentacles, he combines that masculine energy or that masculine function of protect, and also the feminine function of nurture, right? So this is about balance within your ancestry. So this is like a new day, a new dawn. Okay, now we have Page of Pentacles in reverse. It could be that, especially when it came to abundance, your line was a little bit shaky. Maybe there may have been a lot of neglect in one's childhood, and maybe their generations of that. There may be poverty consciousness that you've been struggling with, and maybe there are generations of that. But it's over. You've closed this off. You've closed this off, not just, as I said, for yourself, but also for your ancestry. It could be as well that maybe your ancestors were incredibly gifted, but it really never took off, or they weren't able to practice it publicly, and you are the one that's kind of putting it out there. So you're destigmatizing spirituality, your cultural practices, your spiritual practices. So there's that's coming through again. So it's like you're the torchbearer, because I see this person, they're coming out of the cave. So you are the one that has gained the knowledge, and you're coming out of the cave and bringing it to humanity. So for a lot of you, you are carving a path of freedom for yourself, where you're able to express your deepest truths publicly. There is that. Okay. Now let's have a look at these patterns or these cycles that you've closed off for yourself and for your ancestry. I think what I'll do in the extended, because I wasn't sure if we needed an extended or not, I will look at what is the message from Nandi about your connection. Okay, so for some of you, it is about guilt. And you know, guilt always goes with shame, always goes with blame, right? So this is about breaking out of that, because, you know, guilt can push us into such a low vibration that we end up doing even more low vibrational things, right? So let's have a look here. What are these patterns that you've broken out of? We have the not my job. Now, it's a card number 33, which talks about our spiritual path. And it's interesting that we would see this Jesus figure there. And we know that Jesus really stepped onto his path when he was 33. And 33 is always a number that is related to one's spiritual awakening and spiritual path. And as I told you before, it looks like in your ancestry there may have been many gifted people, but these people did not feel free to express their spirituality out in the open, out in the public, and maybe some of them may have even missed their calling, right? Because of fear, because of a fear of rejection, a fear of being ostracized, a fear of being condemned, a fear of being judged, right? So they may have walked away from their call, they may have walked away from what they were meant to do, and then it kind of fell to you. I've done quite a bit of family tree clearings last week. And a lot of the things that people were experiencing were things that they inherited from their grandmother or their grandfather, right? So it looks like it was very much the same for you. So maybe your parents may have been very spiritual, very gifted, or your grandparents, and maybe they did nothing with it because of what society thought, or what their, or through, or because of the religious, and I use religious very deliberately, the religious beliefs that they adopted, right? They adopted. So we have not my job. So you are the one that has taken up the mantle and practicing your inner truths publicly. And this is inspiring a lot of people in your ancestry. Weirdly enough, now I am on TikTok. There are a few people in my family that know what I do. I don't hide it. If they ask me, I tell them. But I have some distant cousins that are now following me on TikTok, and I'm not sure if they know it's me that they're following on TikTok. But it's interesting that they would also be called to, you know, to their spirituality in that sort of way. Because I have never had any discussions about them about what I do, but they're there and they've found their way to me on TikTok. And now I'm hearing my uncles talking about Kemet, and so it's like my awakening, my sister's awakening has triggered all this energy that is moving through my family right now. Even my mother, who is as Catholic can be, the kind of discussions that we're having now, it's incredibly different. Okay, what else is changing? We have here heaven on earth. Okay. And it's a card number 78, and that reduces to 15. And 15 is the devil. Right. So what is also changing here? or what are you getting freedom from? For a lot of you, it's freedom from addictions. Okay, whatever addictions existed in your ancestry, whether it's addictions to validation, whether it is to substances, whether it's to toxic relationships. Okay, brother and sister fighting, all kind of sibling rivalry, substance abuse, shopaholics, people escaping, abandoning, their families, that kind of thing. It looks like there's an energy of harmony that is entering your ancestry because of the work that you're doing. So you are enjoying more harmony in your relationships, and people are calling out addictions and toxic patterns where they see them. What else is happening? We have the initiate. So what's also moving through your family line? It's just what I was talking about. You're seeing a lot more family members coming out of the dark and moving into the light of spirituality. And it is because they are inspired by you. And they're inspired by you living your truths unashamedly, right? Living your truths boldly, right? That's why they're coming forward, right? So whoever was in the spiritual closet, they're coming out into light. Or whoever was in whatever closet, right? They're coming out in the light because they are being called to authenticity, and they're being inspired by you because you are being your authentic self. And you're going to be called to be more of your authentic self as this path progresses. So wherever you're holding back right now, Spirit is telling you, put it all out there, right? Because there are people who are looking at you and are inspired by the things that you're saying and what you are embodying right now. Spirit, tell us more about this freedom, right? So it's freedom from addiction. It's freedom from being in the closet. It's freedom to be your authentic self. It's freedom to practice your spirituality. Put yourself out there. What else has happened? We have transformation. Okay. And it's a card number 1156, reduced to 11. So, it's about everything kind of coming into balance, and everything in your life and all relationships in your life being transformed and transmuted just because of you putting yourself out there and exercising your freedom. So it's like you've grounded a new template for your ancestry. It's a template based on your sovereignty and being free. Let's see if there's anything else. One last message before we go. And we have exactly what we're talking about. You have ushered in a spirit of renewal for your ancestry, and it's going to be a time of massive healing. We're talking about card number 17, and 17 is the star. So we're talking about healing, we're talking about the balancing of karma, and 17, the star, is also associated with Aquarius, which is the age of enlightenment, and it's also about the collective consciousness, right? So whatever you've grounded for yourself, watch it as it spreads like wildfire through your family line and through your various connections with your community, with your friendship groups, right? With your organizations. Everything is just going to be a spin-off. You're going to be grounded that energy everywhere, and you're probably seeing it already. Okay? All right. So let's get one last bit of advice from Nandi, and we're going to extend it and see what she has to say about your twin flame or higher level soulmate connection. Okay. And we have show that you care. So this is about being authentic in all ways. And it's not a time to be holding back your emotions, your truths. Okay? As I said, it's a time to put yourself out there in so many different ways. Let's see what's the message from Nandi. We have wash away your burdens, and that's exactly what I do when I go to the river. I submerge. There's like a fast flowing area of the river. It's not exactly a rapids, smaller than a rapids, but the water is pretty strong. And I either lie on my back there or lie on my front, submerge myself, and just imagine all that water just washing away whatever concerns I might have, whatever anxieties, fears I might have, and you just feel absolutely renewed. And you may not have a river near you, but you may certainly have a shower, and you can certainly do that there. All right, so let's see this wash away the burdens card, and it's a card number 48, which reduced to 12, the hangman. All right, let's see. Wash away your burdens. As you have moved through life, you have undoubtedly experienced moments that have inspired feelings of regret, remorse, shame, and guilt. Well, we started with the guilt card, didn't we? You have made promises you've not been able to keep. You have judged and blamed yourself and others. You have burdened yourself with feelings born of acts that cannot be undone, which still bind you to the past. It is time to forgive. It is time to lie down in the healing waters, which is exactly what I've been doing. To lie down in the healing waters and let them wash away your burdens so that you can move forward with spirit cleansed. Okay, so for some of you, this door, you've walked through that door of freedom. But for others of you, there are things from your past that you are allowing to hold you back. Certainly fears, anxiety, but maybe there are things that you've done in the past that you're still holding yourself. I wouldn't say, I don't feel it's accountable at this point, right? You're holding yourself hostage because of those things. And maybe there are things that may be shameful to you and maybe to the wider society. Maybe there are things that might be illegal, okay? Things that bring you, that, hold you in a lot of regret. There's a lot of guilt when you think about it. But Spirit's letting you know that, this is all part of the journey towards enlightenment. We start from somewhere, and we don't often start from the most enlightened place. This is the crux or the essence of the journey. Is a shamanic one where we start with a template of our ancestry, and we rise into consciousness, and through consciousness we move into freedom, right? So don't allow your past to hold you back, and from you being the best version of yourself, your most authentic version of yourself, and from you succeeding in your mission, which is to be you, right? Don't let the past, sabotage your future. That's the message today. All right, so if this resonated with you, let's see what Nandi has to say about your love life, your twin connection, your soulmate connection in the extended. But guys, thank you for listening. Take care. Love you guys.